ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is your host JD. Wait, not your host JD, your very mean, controversial host JD. I hope you're all doing well and you've all had a great day so far. Now, as you can see with the title and the thumbnail, I'm going to be doing something just a little bit different. Something I've never actually done on the channel, which I find pretty strange, but also because it's a little bit more difficult for me to upload whilst I'm not in the UK. It's kind of perfect timing as well. So we're going to be doing a Q&A, and you guys have asked so many questions on Instagram and YouTube. There are so many to get through, so I'm not going to waste any more time. But before we do get into these questions, ladies and gentlemen, if you could, as always, make sure to leave a like rating, as it really helps out the video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into the very first question. What do your family and friends make of your YouTube channel? Are they supportive of it? Yeah, my family and friends are very supportive of it, which is great. My family don't really understand it because they're a little bit older and they're like, wait, what? How does that work? You upload videos on the internet, all that stuff. My friends, they really do support me with every video that gets censored, man. They just encourage me to keep going, because if you're by yourself and you see video after video after video not doing well because it's getting suppressed, it will easily get to you. So to have people around you that are encouraging you and telling you to always keep going, always be better, man, it's truly a blessing. And I feel like you need that in every area of life. You cannot do anything in this world by yourself. How old are you? Are you a right-wing guy? If so, have you ever suffered bullying because of that? By the way, I love your videos. Well, thank you for the compliment. I really do appreciate that. How old am I? I am in my 20s. That's all I'm gonna say, because I know how weird some people are on the internet. Am I a right-wing guy? Yes, I think my channel kind of shows that. Although I will say my Instagram and X are a lot more right-wing, and that is because, again, YouTube censors a lot. So there are many things I can and cannot say. So if you want to follow my Instagram and X, where I talk about things a little bit more openly, the links will be in the description. Have I ever suffered bullying because of it though? No. Would I care if anybody said anything? No. I really don't care what a lot of people have to say or think. What YouTube channels would you say inspired you? Now that is a good question, because I actually have to sit down and think about that one, because I don't really watch any content creators anymore. But if I had to think when I started, it'd probably be Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh. Have you been invited to a podcast, or would you consider doing your own podcast? I don't really get invited onto podcasts, and that's because I don't really talk to a lot of people, and that's very intentional. Would I do my own podcast? The plan is, in the future, when my channel reaches a certain stage, is to go into a podcast format, because it is so much easier for me to talk when somebody's with me, and you can just, bounce off each other. Being by yourself, it can get quite tedious, and you have to follow this strict, cookie cutter YouTube video style. I don't really like that, so there will be a point where I do switch into a podcast format, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. Do you think the UK can be fixed? Good question. Now, before September 13th, I would have said no. Now, for those of you that don't know what happened on September 13th, there was a massive rally against the establishment, essentially, all the bad things going on. I think there was about 1 million, 2 million people that turned up. The mainstream media are playing it down because they don't want the average person to see how many people, are now united. But I do think in the future, there is going to be a point where we can start to reverse all the insanity going on. And I really do look forward to the UK gaining some of its former glory, because it should not be in the state that it's in. Do you trust Farage? Do I trust Nigel Farage? I tell you now, I do not trust any politician to run a bath. Plain and simple. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. How do you cope with reporting the devastating stories and not letting it get to you? When you make videos every single day about the crazy stuff going on, eventually you just build a tolerance towards it. Obviously, the most recent news with Charlie Kirk has been completely different. I never thought it would shock me in the way it has. But apart from that story, you kind of just wake up and you go, yeah, of course. Why not? Of course this has happened. Whereas when I first started, every day I'd be like, are you kidding me? What? Is this really going on and all that stuff? You kind of can't believe what people are saying and what people are doing, but it certainly reaches the point where you go, yeah, this is the world today. Do you support feminism? Do I support this modern era of feminism? No, absolutely not. This progressive era, this modern era where feminism is so prominent, it's garbage. It really is. All it is doing is ruining women and also ruining men. Funnily enough, I think feminism has destroyed femininity because a lot of its aspects are quite masculine, so then by default you end up making men very feminine. And a lot of feminists today, I would say a large majority of them, they just hate men. That's all it comes down to. They've been given a route to go down where hating men is acceptable, and it's wrong. Some women will be sat there going, no, I don't hate men, I just want this, I just want that. I don't really know what rights women don't have anymore. I feel like things are very, very equal. In a lot of aspects today, things are favored towards women. So when I see feminists on the internet still going on and on and on, to me it's just based in total hatred, like a lot of these progressive movements. Most feminists just want to be above men, and they will not stop until in every industry, in every walk of life, women are placed above men. And I think that's really wrong. I really do think, a lot of this is destroying society. You see women who are struggling today because they're falling for the progressive messaging of feminism. Don't have kids, don't do that, don't do this. And how many women are we seeing in these videos breaking down saying, oh, I fell for that message, I wish I had kids, I wish I did that. I feel like feminism is one of the biggest lies sold to women, this modern era of feminism anyway. Are you right-wing? I feel like we answered that one. Yes, I am right-wing, very right-wing. Would you turn transgender, non-binary, demisexual, polyamorous for $1 million? No, you could not pay me any amount of money in this reality or any other to go down that road. None at all. I'm good, thank you. Am I scared of getting arrested? You know what's funny? Maybe like 3 months ago, I would have been like, nah, doesn't really bother me. But now with what we're seeing in the UK, yeah, every video you have in the back of your mind, could I get arrested for this? Is something bad going to happen? And that's just because of how insane things are right now in the UK. We're seeing so many people getting arrested for social media posts. It's actually quite scary and dystopian. And I really don't know how this has just been allowed to go on and on and on. It is wrong. Thoughts on Dylan Mulvaney? He's a gay man who is very desperate for fame, so much so that he went ahead and went down the road of transgenderism, and look where he is today. Yeah, delusion gets rewarded, and he knows that. Most controversial opinion? That is a good question. I really don't know, because if you asked me this about a year ago, I would have said a lot of my opinions are probably controversial, but the world has gotten so insane, so backwards. A lot of people are starting to have the same views on pretty much everything. So I don't know what my most controversial view or opinion would be. That's actually a very good question, because I can't even answer it. That is insane, but I can't think of the most controversial opinion that I have. Wow. Never thought I'd see the day. What country do you live in? England. It's a great time. It really is. What's been your favourite thing to talk about or most passionate thing? Do you know what's interesting about that? I've never actually spoken about the things I'm most passionate about on YouTube, and that's just simply because the videos will get censored, and if you think I'm wasting my time making a 20, 30-minute video on these certain things for it to just get suppressed, yeah, not happening. But it's conspiracy theories. Right, and I don't even know if you can call them conspiracy theories anymore, because a lot of them end up becoming true. And I love these because the further you go down these rabbit holes, you start to realize the world really ain't what it seems, and a lot of things are going on behind the scenes that most people don't know about, and it starts to make you realize how the world is actually ran. And I think to a lot of the people who really don't know anything, it would scare them. It really would. Do you think that World War III is coming? If so, when? No, I don't think World War III is coming. Not in my lifetime anyway. I tell you, I've been hearing about World War III since I was in school, and that was many years ago now, and here we are in 2025, almost 2026, no World War III. The word World War III is only used to scare people. You see it thrown about in the media every so often, makes everybody scared. I think what we will see is just endless wars that continue to go on and on and on, as we are seeing as well. So when eventually, if any of these end, another one will just start, and that's the cycle, go on and on and on. If you were to ask me what I think the next big event will be in our lifetime anyway, I think it's going to be the power going out, you know, the grid going down, all that stuff. I really do think that is the next thing to happen. Do you think that the world can go back to common sense? And if so, what would it take? No, the world can never go back to common sense, or the common sense that people would like to see. The world is just too crazy, and the crazy narratives are here to stay. The crazy agendas will always be pushed, which means the crazy people will always live amongst us. And until things are really, you know, dismantled and changed, it will stay that way. What you need to do, what I would do anyway, is begin with the education system, you know, because that has been one of the biggest reasons as to why people are so liberal, leftist, insane. Once you tackle that issue, and then it's like a domino effect, you tackle everything else, maybe you might see some more common sense, but I don't ever see that happening. What made you create a YouTube channel? Love your work. We need more young men like you. Well, thank you for the compliment. I do appreciate it. What made me start a YouTube channel? It's very interesting. I think it was about 3 years ago now that I saw, you know, all this leftist liberal ideology just getting out of control. And I think I saw Matt Walsh come up on my feed once, and I was like, wait, hold on, you can talk about these things? You can say these things, and people will watch you, listen to you? I had no idea really about political content at all until about, I don't know, 3 years ago. I didn't realize people were actually making videos about this stuff until one day it came up on my recommended, and I was like, wait, hold on a second. I want to talk about this as well. I have a lot to say. I have a lot to push back against. Do you have another job? What did you do before YouTube.com became your job? No, I don't have another job, which is why videos getting censored to me means a lot. It's very, very painful to see that, but you got to keep going. What did I do before YouTube? I actually just worked in a 9-to-5 retail job, and I was kind of doing different videos at the time. Again, I knew nothing about political content whilst I was doing 9-to-5, but you know, things started to change at my job, and I could tell that I wasn't going to stay here. And again, I think it was God telling me or forcing me to leave so I could focus on YouTube. And I ended up down this road, and once again, here we are. You know, I am so grateful that I have this opportunity to sit down and talk to people, and you guys listen to me and all that stuff. It's really a blessing. When do you plan to get married? Follow my Instagram, and that will answer your question for you. But finally, why do you think the UK government is allowing mass migration? If I sat here and told you why I think it's happening, we'd be here forever. But essentially, you know, we have a lot of these leftists who have always liked the idea of open borders. A lot of these Labour politicians are a part of the Fabian Society, and again, they're all for open borders, they're all for destroying society. And when you allow so many people to come in, you are pretty much gaining their vote. You know, once they become a citizen and all that stuff, who are they going to vote for? They ain't going to vote for the people who don't want them here, are they? No. It's all about votes. It's all about, I think as well, if you look deeper, replacing the culture. Because I've said this in a previous video, you know, a lot of people that are born in England, white British families, they aren't having a lot of kids, right? They maybe have 1, 2, or none. But a lot of people coming over, they have a lot more than that. So over time, the culture ends up getting replaced. And you see more and more people from different countries being represented, which I do think is a goal, you know, to replace people in different countries. Don't know if I can say too much without the video getting, you know, suppressed because, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Really? Is it? We can see what's going on. It's not a conspiracy theory any longer. These things just don't accidentally happen. It's not an accident that these things are happening. It is all intentional. But that is the end of the Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I answered a lot of your questions there. There were so many to get through. A lot of them were kind of similar, so if I missed yours out, it's probably because somebody else asked a similar question to you. If you want to see more Q&As, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm more than happy to do them. It's actually quite fun, quite refreshing. But until next time, it has been your host, JD. Oh yeah, what am I on about? Make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, share this video, but until next time, it has been your host, JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.